President Trump's travel ban affecting many in San Diego, including here in City Heights, where many refugees live, open businesses, and raise their families.
It comes with a struggle. It was a lot of a struggle on my side.
Elizabeth Liu says it doesn't feel that long ago.
The interview is from head to toe, and it takes a long time to complete the process.
As a refugee from Sudan, she remembers feeling a lot of uncertainty trying to come into the U.S.
The struggle is real, and the feeling of the people in the community is difficult.
On Wednesday, the Supreme Court announcing a compromise, a ban on refugee stays, but lax rules for those with family already in the U.S. Elizabeth says the response from her community is,
how about those who do not have relatives here? What would be the effect?
Supporters say this is a national security measure and it'll keep the country safe. Elizabeth says though the ban is watered down, a lot of refugees feel the U.S. is their only hope.
It's too much. It's like the world is coming to an end. Refugees have nowhere to go. They don't have hope.
In City Heights, Jessica Chen, 10 News.
New on the now, those hoping for Round Table in Spring Valley will have to look elsewhere after a car plows into the restaurant. This afternoon, a driver crashed into the building after she says her brakes failed. That woman was taken to a hospital. Only one person was inside the pizzeria at the time and was not hurt. The Round Table now closed as inspectors determine whether the building is still safe.
Thousands flock into the fairgrounds for Del Mar's opening day. The hats, the food, of course the horses. 10 News reporter Jennifer Dela Cruz is live from the stands. Jennifer.
Well, the gates are open, the stands are full, and the crowd is dressed in style. These stands are going to be full through September as some guests bet on some of the fastest horses in the world. A sea of hats, heels, hooves, covering the Del Mar Fairgrounds today. Guests coming from all over to take part in one of the biggest events of the year. Dozens of horses racing in the 78th annual event. One of the biggest parts of opening day is the $5,000 hat contest.
It's where the surf meets the turf. I heard it once. I don't know. There's some slogan or somewhere. So it's kind of inspired this particular hat.
No, size really does matter. And this is just a note to everybody everywhere that if you drink enough beer, you too can make a sombrero.
Another main event today is the $100,000 Oceanside Stakes. They've made several changes this year, including updates to the track and adding more veterinarians to keep the horses running in good condition. Now, 5 races this season will serve as qualifiers for the Breeders' Cup. That's going to take place for the very first time here in Del Mar starting in November. Reporting live from opening day, Jennifer Dela Cruz, 10 News.
All right, Jennifer, all you need is a big hat. It looks like fun out there. Thank you. Oh, there are 2 ticket levels if you are headed to the races. The stretch run, that is in the area before the finish line. Tickets are $15 today, $6 the rest of the season. Now, for a bit more money, you can get clubhouse admission for the area past the finish line. That's $30 today and $10 for the rest of the season. And once you're inside, be sure to snap some pictures and feel free to send them our way. You can post them on 10news.com and then check out our website to see the opening day photo gallery.
Check out a live picture from downtown right now where Comic-Con is kicking off tonight. This is a live look. I love it. All these people streaming in. More than 120,000 people are expected to go to the convention center for this annual party. And even more may be going just to people watch. 10news.com has you covered. Our reporters are going to be there for the biggest celebrity appearances and the surprises. Check out 10news.com and our Facebook page. We're going to have all those behind the scenes photos, the access, and we also, Ariel, have a Comic-Con Survivors Guide on there too.
You need that. So much going on this week. Well, crews in Vista have just fixed its huge water main that ruptured earlier this morning. This is video of the scene around 4 o'clock this morning. The broken main sent water shooting 50 feet into the air at one point. It took crews almost 2 hours to shut off the water. By then it had flooded streets and parking lots. 25 homes were without water for hours. Now, neighbors who had water told us that theirs turned brown. The break apparently stirred up some sediment. We reached out to the water department and they say, though, that that water is safe to drink. Well, new on the now, we have an update on this burglary at a South Bark dog wash. Now, if you remember earlier this month, burglars ransacked the business, stealing flea medication. You see one of the burglars there leaving. Well, police now releasing photos of the suspects. Both are described as being in their 20s. In all, they got away with 46 boxes of flea medication worth more than $4,000. Police are also looking for a woman they say drove the getaway car. If you have any information, call police. Ann?
Ariel, I'm in the newsroom with this. The Election Integrity Committee met for the first time today. The goal is to prevent voter fraud, but there is concern among some that this might infringe on privacy rights or maybe even discourage people from voting. The Now's political correspondent Mike Sachs reports.
Vice President and Election Integrity Commission Chair Mike Pence began today's meeting with an assurance.
Let me be clear. This commission has no preconceived notions or preordained results. We're fact finders.
It's a claim at odds with the commission's origins. A tweet from President Trump 5 days after his inauguration saying he'd, quote, be asking for a major investigation into voter fraud. That to back up his false claim to lawmakers that millions of illegal voters cost him the popular vote.
The real purpose of the Electoral Integrity Commission is to deter people from voting, to suppress votes, to intimidate voters, and to keep especially African American and Latino people from voting.
Robert Weissman's organization, Public Citizen, has filed one of 7 lawsuits against the commission.
We're suing over the request for voter data, the voter rolls and voter files and social security number, last 4 digits. Request made by the commission to every state in America.
That request led to thousands of angry emails to the commission, reports of voter registration cancellations in Colorado, and more than half the state's refusal to fully cooperate. Today, President Trump tried to turn the tables by casting doubt on those states crying foul.
If any state does not want to share this information, one has to wonder what they're worried about. And I asked the Vice President, I asked the Commission, what are they worried about?
With the commission now underway, expect controversy to follow it every step of the way, up until and including its issuing its final report in the months to come. For the Now, I'm Mike Sachs.
Well, the next time you travel to Mexico or Canada, expect a big change at the airport when you fly home. What security is doing to crack down on terrorism.
A loud noise. Is that what led a Minneapolis police officer to shoot and kill an Australian woman? One of those officers explaining his side of the story. Plus,
the military exchanges are so grateful to continue to be a part of veterans' lives.
Mark Wahlberg helping thousands of San Diego veterans get discounts. How you can get in on the savings.
let's catch you up on the Now News feed. You've heard how unpopular President Trump is recently in the polls, but a new poll from Bloomberg says Hillary Clinton is even less popular right now. 39% like her compared to 41% who like the president.
New technology could be a game changer for people with chronic conditions. It looks like a temporary tattoo, but it's actually a stretchable electronic sensor. It can monitor vital signs and maybe one day improve prosthetics.
UPS drivers have a new Facebook page. It's called UPS Dogs. They're posting pictures of all the dogs they meet on their routes. The page has been up for a few years, but it's really just starting to get more attention now. Ariel.
Well, Ann, I'm here in the newsroom, and if you are planning to travel to Mexico or Canada, listen to this. I've pulled up this map. Starting today, when you return home from our neighbors to the north and the south, your flight is going to have increased security screening. Now, this is all due to concerns that terrorists are targeting airliners. The Now's Kumasi Aaron has a look at the changes.
Most people we spoke with didn't notice anything yet, but starting today, people traveling into the United States from Mexico and Canada will have to undergo additional security screening for any portable electronic device larger than a phone.
It wasn't really anything more than usual or than we have experienced in the past.
Marco Rodriguez didn't notice much of a difference on his trip back to the U.S. from Mexico. Even on the first day, the country is stepping up security screenings of customers flying into the U.S., specifically on portable electronics.
The usual, they just want you to put that on a, outside the luggage, and they just scan them and nothing more than that.
Mexico's Civil Aviation Authority says they were asked to implement this extra layer of security by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And that's the only reason they've given. Do you think that'll change anything about how you travel when you go home to see your family?
Probably not. I mean, you need to travel when you need to travel. For most of the people that I think that travel, on the plane, that's probably a hassle.
Just this week, the U.S. finished lifting an all-out laptop ban in carry-on luggage that it had imposed on flights coming to the U.S. from Middle Eastern countries, after airports there agreed to additional security measures. In those instances, officials feared the devices could be used to smuggle explosives on board. Experts tell us today's changes show officials believe a threat can come from anywhere. In Canada, in addition to screening electronic devices, they're also doing more canine screenings and adding pre-clearance locations. For the Now, I'm Kamasi Yaron.
One of the police officers involved in that deadly shooting of an Australian woman in Minneapolis is talking. Justine Damon called 911 to report a possible sexual assault near her home. Officer Michael Harity was driving the squad car that night. He told state investigators that a loud noise startled him, and that's when the woman came up to the driver's side window. Officer Mohammed Noor, who was in the passenger seat, shot her through the window. Officer Noor, so far, has refused to talk.
A family cleaning up their home after a car took out a pole, flew across a yard, over a wall, and smacked against the side of a bedroom. Incredibly, the driver walked away with just a scratch. The crash even damaged the homeowner's truck and was inches away from hitting his daughter's bedroom.
I just heard this big boom, and I peeked out the window and I started seeing the telephone pole, just the cables falling to the ground. And I came out, seeing that the guy was in my yard here in his vehicle, so we proceeded to help him out, make sure he was all right.
Now, believe it or not, deputies are not calling this a DUI. What's even more absurd, this is the 4th time something like this has happened to the same home.
That's incredible, and so is this. Investigators trying to figure out what caused a helicopter to crash in the water off Long Island, and you can see the Coast Guard here coming out to see what that, basically check out what happened. Luckily and amazingly, nobody in the helicopter was hurt. We're now being told that the passenger in that helicopter was Shane McMahon, the son of WWE CEO Vince McMahon.
A construction worker is in the hospital after a building accident in Long Beach. Police say he was trapped on the 2nd floor of the new Civic Center, which you see here is under construction. Something fell or collapsed on him. He fractured his leg. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but no word right now on his condition. We'll bring you an update if we get more information. And Marky Mark going viral and helping thousands of veterans.
The military exchanges are so grateful to continue to be a part of veterans' lives.
All right, this video going viral. Mark Wahlberg and Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell recorded it. Wahlberg played Luttrell in the movie Lone Survivor. It's promoting a new military discount program, VetVerify.com. The video led to more than 20,000 registrations in the past 4 days, and 250,000 San Diegans can get the great discounts on everything from appliances to clothes. Until now, only active military, their family, retirees, and disabled vets could use the online exchanges, but the new program opens it up now to all veterans with an honorable discharge. You can start shopping on the site this Veterans Day.
School is back in session for thousands of kids in the South Bay. Chula Vista Elementary District and Sweetwater High School District both started school today. In Chula Vista, district officials, they've really been working to make walking to school safer. They've got a number of crosswalk improvements that happened over the summer near several schools. If you want more information on the first day of school in the South Bay, including ways to save money on school supplies, head to our website, 10news.com. All right, we're going to head outside. Let's take a live look at weather. Looking toward the East County, it's been hot, it's been humid. But Angelica Campos is here with her Wonder Woman pin on for the start of Comic-Con. I love it.
You know, it's very exciting, and I hear there's a really long line, but it's actually not to get into Comic-Con because there's a great hall. It's called Hall H, and that's where the stars are going to be, and that's where people are already getting ready from today, camping out today for that.
I believe it.
So with the badges, they just get in and out, so it's going to be super easy, but for Hall H, they got to wait, and of course, I'll give you the weather to show you what it's going to be like as you stay there overnight and into tomorrow morning. Temperatures right now are still pretty balmy. They're warm all over the county. We're trending above average. That's not going to change. It's still humid. You can see how hazy it is outside because of the humidity. It makes it feel like summer, but if you had enough, look at those dew points. 61 in Escondido, 62 in Kearney Mesa, 65 in San Diego, and 66 in Chula Vista. Typically, our dew points should be in the 40s, so we are way too humid for San Diego County. And the temperatures at 80 degrees, so you add the humidity, it feels like it's 85 degrees outside. It's one of those days you blow dry your hair and then you walk outside and you're already sweating. It is 90 degrees in El Cajon, 85 in Poway, 74 in Carlsbad. And as we take a look here, there's still a few thunderstorms out there. The possibility will continue into the afternoon and evening. Coming up, I'll pinpoint what it's going to feel like hour by hour in our evening planner.
Angelica saying, I love that song. Well, there's a reason you like this song. What Despacito just did that no other song has accomplished. You're watching the Now San Diego, so stick around.
Let's catch you up on the Now News feed. You can have a way to secretly call for help in the future. Apple just patented letting you dial 911 using your fingerprint. First responders would know where the phone is, and they could also pull live video or live audio.
Now we're getting a look at what the inside of self-driving cars could be like. In one concept, the steering wheel stows itself. Look at that, and the rear seats move in so you can watch TV up front. There's also a meeting mode where the rear seats go up and the driver's seat spins around so you're not even looking at the road.
That's kind of cool. And Despacito, now the most streamed song of all time. It's been played more than 4.6 billion times in just the last 6 months. Justin Bieber's song, Sorry, it's held the record since 2015. No more. It's now Despacito, and Angelica's got a theory on this.
Huge role in the numbers, too.
You think you did?
I played it that much.
It's a catchy one. All right, let's take a live look right now at Lindbergh Field, where we will soon be getting some more nonstop flights. Frontier Airlines is extending its schedule to more than 82 cities. Nonstop flights from San Diego will include Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and San Antonio on October 6th, so make sure to keep your eyes out when booking your next flight.
All of the wildfires around California are putting a severe strain on our local departments, but the next generation of firefighters just started training this week, and 10 News reporter Jared Aarons is live in the newsroom with a story that he's actually working on for tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Jared.
And it's pretty cool. There's this boot camp that the fire department does for teenagers and young adults. It teaches them kind of the basics of firefighting, gives them a little taste of what it's like, lets them decide whether or not it's a career they want to go into. So today I talked with a firefighter who went through that about 6 years ago, got his story. I'm still going through all those interviews. Tomorrow morning, hear how that boot camp helped him turn a tragedy in his life into his career and his passion.
All right, Star Wars meets the U.S. Navy, the new weapon that's faster than the speed of light, and the ship that's testing it out.
And this man says many of us are carrying a heavy cross.
A lot of people don't understand addiction. They don't understand that it isn't as easy as saying, just put it down.
His solution that involves walking across the border.
And this woman has been looking for her parents since World War II, where their bodies just turned up, totally preserved.
Live from 10 News, this is the Now San Diego.
We are getting a close-up look at the Navy's futuristic weapon. Take a look at this. This drone-destroying laser weapons system has successfully been tested off the USS Ponce.
And 10 News military reporter Hannah Mullins live in the newsroom, and this was actually rolled out locally.
It was. Sailors tested it on a local Navy ship. This one, that's the USS Dewey, and they did it right off the coast of San Diego.
It's like Star Wars at sea, only this is the real deal. The laser weapon system, or LAWS, is the world's first active laser weapon.
It really is a point and shoot. We see it, we focus on it, and we can negate that target.
Lieutenant Cale Hughes says it's able to take down an array of targets. Last week, weapons teams proved its ability to demolish drones, which have become an increasing threat. For now, it's mainly aimed at disabling or destroying aircraft and small boats. They just need electricity and 3 people to run the $40 million system.
It's about $1 a shot.
And while it's unleashed at the speed of light, it can stay on target. The Navy says it's more precise than a bullet.
It operates in an invisible part of the electromagnetic spectrum. You don't see the beam. It doesn't make any sound. It is completely silent.
Since it's stealthy, enemies won't know this force is with our sailors.
Now, it has a hard time in haze and smoke, but unlike a gun, it does not run out of bullets. Hannah Mullins, 10 News.
That's pretty impressive. Thank you, Hannah. Let's catch you up now on the news feed. Earlier, we told you about the refugee ban and how locals were responding, but there's another interesting provision. Grandparents will now be on the list of relatives who can get into the U.S. from certain countries. But again, refugees who have already been working with resettlement agencies in the U.S., they are not allowed for now.
And this sketch we showed you on Monday and the unsolved murder of these Indiana teens has brought in more than 1,000 tips already. That should be a big help for police who have been trying to crack this case for 6 months.
And the Chipotle in Virginia that had to close for 2 days because of a suspected norovirus outbreak, that reopened today. Chipotle says this is an isolated case and that their food is safe.
New on the Now, another victim of serial killer John Wayne Gacy has been identified. Officials in Illinois now say Gacy killed a 16-year-old teenager from Minnesota. Nobody had heard from the teen since 1976. A jury convicted Gacy of killing 33 young men in 1994. 6 of them are still unidentified.
This man is walking all the way to Canada carrying a cross. Jim Downs says he wants to save souls. He battled addiction for years. He doesn't want anyone to go through what he did. So he's walking 2,000 miles to bring attention to the problem.
A lot of people don't understand addiction. They don't understand that it isn't as easy as saying, just put it down. It doesn't happen like that.
And look at his shirt. It says Big Jim's Walk. That's what he's calling it. Jim started in Florida. As I said, he's headed to Canada, and this video that you're looking at was taken in Virginia, so it's along the route.
Big Jim's got a big task
He
ahead of him,
does.
that's for sure. Well, look at this. A Swiss couple who disappeared during World War II has finally been found frozen in a glacier. They vanished from their farm in the Alps 75 years ago. The discovery is now bringing closure to their family. Their daughter told Swiss media her parents were walking to a valley the morning of their disappearance. It was a nice day, she says, and her father was singing. But that was the last time she would see her parents. Their disappearance left her to care for her 5 younger sisters and brothers. Forensic experts are now going to try to confirm the identities using DNA tests.
Nobody likes those extra charges that stores or other companies try to stick you with when you use your credit card to pay for something. The United Kingdom is doing something about it. They are banning all credit card surcharges. So, of course, we're asking the question, could it ever happen in the U.S.? Stores here are allowed to tack on a surcharge of up to 4% to cover fees that they have to pay to the credit card companies. So far, at least 10 states have banned those surcharges. But California is not one of those states, so far, we're still paying it. We're still paying it.
All right, let's look outside right now. Not much, wow, pretty hazy out there.
What's happening?
I believe there is an ocean out there, right? Yeah. All right, so it's taking a look toward the ocean right now. It just gives you a glimpse of some of the hazy conditions and the humidity that we've been seeing out there.
The humidity is so high you can actually see it on our camera and it's blocking our view, but not this camera. Our sky cam from Pacific Beach, you can actually see how nice it is and how crowded it is. I'm like, what day is it? Because that looks like a Sunday. It is busy. A lot of people taking advantage of it. Hey, why not if you can? 74 degrees in Carlsbad, 71 in La Jolla. It is 80 in downtown San Diego, 79 in Chula Vista. Of course, we have to factor the humidity, which makes those numbers feel so much hotter. As we go through the evening, on the coast, 77 degrees, 75 by 6 p.m. I promised that I would tell you what it would be like near the coast and also near downtown for everyone standing in line for Hall H for Comic-Con tomorrow morning. 73 by 7 p.m., so it is definitely going to be warm. Still humid tonight, but it does get better tomorrow. Inland areas going from 83 at 5 to 76 by 7 p.m. And there is good news in the forecast. The humidity will start to drop tomorrow. Although today is still humid, there's going to be another round of monsoonal moisture early next week. I have your 4-day forecast coming up.
All right, we'll talk again soon, but right now, eat healthy, exercise, keep the stress down. Very common advice for a long life, but what about we add attempting to break a record into that equation? The Now's Laura Harris introducing us tonight to an 87-year-old judge who's doing just that.
Sometimes in the morning it's hard to get up. The alarm goes off at 4 o'clock. I'm down here at 5 in the pool at 5:30. If it weren't for the swimming and you getting up at 4 o'clock, you wouldn't be here.
With a name like Beach, seems like he was born for the water. You're not 87. You can't be 87.
Keep it up, honey.
And the Honorable Bob Beach, who has been a judge in Tampa Bay for nearly 5 decades, is in training.
And I swim 3,000 meters every morning. That's just under 2 miles. I do it 5 days a week.
Next Wednesday, he will attempt to be the oldest person to swim from Alcatraz to San Francisco. A 1.25 mile swim in 55-degree choppy water. His journey to this point just as difficult as the open water swim will be.
A 20-year smoker, 3 packs a day. And I gave up smoking.
Now a changed man, even skydiving about a month ago. Plus, he still hears court cases part-time. Says some of his best decisions in the courtroom came from Lane 1. And after traveling to 125 countries and all 50 states, 4 children, 4 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, his Christmas cards say his secret to a long life is family, swimming, being single, and...
I don't do the internet. I don't do computers. I don't need them.
And while he says the Alcatraz swim will be one of his biggest accomplishments,
I've got both my Porsches up to 130.
87 years young, Judge Beach says it's all about living your best life. For the Now, I'm Laura Harris.
I do drive.
Wow, he certainly packed a lot into 87 years. We'll let you know if he reaches that record. Next on the Now, a man walks into Phoenix Comic-Con armed with guns and ammo, but he blends in with the crowd. The change it's now prompting here in San Diego.
San Diego's biggest stories today, starting on 10 News this morning.
And the homeowner was inside that house watching TV, heard the whole thing.
Went crashing straight through, hit that power pole, and then launched into a yard. Happy first day of school for all the kids heading back in the Chula Vista area.
250,000 San Diegans entitled to deeper discounts on things they buy every day.
The new program opens it up to all veterans with an honorable discharge.
Watch 10 News tomorrow morning, connecting you to San Diego.